Most people couldn't even stand straight wearing one of those. You, however...
Brynn, how did it go?
It worked amazingly. In fact, I was almost too cold.
I must have prepared it incorrectly. Perhaps too much stirring.
I'm kidding, Lane. It was perfect.
Your elevated wit eludes me once again.
If you two are done messing around, it's excellent to hear that the potions worked. Lane, what sort of quantities can we produce for the scouts?
As much as you need. It's not hard to make.
That's very good news. I wonder why the Eye never explored this as an option.
I would assume the reason sits somewhere between lack of care and gross negligence. Speaking of the Eye, Brynn, the Axel and I had a chance to sit and talk for a while. Would you believe that she isn't his biggest fan either?
There were some subtle context clues that tipped me off.
We were indeed not very cordial with each other at the best of times.
In particular, the way he kept secrets rubbed us both the wrong way. We found ourselves in agreement that any new government here should be built on a foundation of trust and respect.
A foundation that will only be built if we secure our survival. Lane and I don't agree on everything, but it was good to sit and speak with someone who understands the nature of the work I'm doing.
It's not every day that one has the privilege of watching a new order emerge.
Perhaps you will be here to document it.
I should like that very much. The story of a new enclave should be made available to all. I'm struck with inspiration. I need to return to base camp and get started on my history. To be here as it's being written, to be the one writing it. Oh, what a privilege.
Oh, they're gone. Do they always do that?
Yes, that's a fairly frequent occurrence.
Well, with my mind at ease, for now, at least, I will...
We're here to help. Talk later.
You deserved better from him. But that was probably all he's capable of. Come to think of it, we all deserved better from him.
What will you do now?
Take care of my people. Someone needs to. And you? You're going to try to fix the arcs.
Isla saw something in the Arks no one else did. The Enclave's legacy, innovation and ambition. We can't let her death be in vain. Her work must be finished.
I wish I could help, but Arks were Isla's expertise, not mine. Still, I agree. That Ark allowed you to pass safely through the tangles, where surgeborn go to regenerate. If you're going to try to fix it, consider me heavily invested in your progress.
It's too great an advantage to ignore. I'll keep you updated. Dom, the interference I'm experiencing during expeditions is concerning. Is there any chance our scry is degrading like the ones belonging to the Enclave?
No. I'm positive this is something else entirely. Our scry remains unchanged. We have the means to test for degradation, and there is none. I'll need to investigate further.
As long as it doesn't give out on us completely in the meantime.
However, I have taken a look at the Spindle's copy of the workings of Archons, and thankfully, the writing is far more legible than Lucia's. And her notes are significantly less paranoid at that.
About that, Kenrick Stanold told me that Lucia wasn't just tinkering with the Ark we followed through the Veil. She built it. The Ark of Verdance.
That is quite the revelation. What was it for?
That was all Kenrick could tell me. Or wanted to tell me, but... Sev mentioned that Kenrick had been feeding Isla information about a failsafe for the Source. Could the Ark of Verdance be the fix she was working on without realizing it?
Yes. Yes! That could be it. Genius, Brynn! On my side, I dug into her notes. She was working on a way to fully restore our Ark for us. She was so close to a schematic, intricate, elaborate, masterful. And I finished it. Solar has the final design ready for you. Essentially, we'll be creating a power core for the Ark. Most notably, we'll need a special part, a bar of shaped coral. This is the final key for an Ark to be functional on its own without a Weaver channeling magic into it.
If we had built a power core earlier, could her death have been prevented?
She only made this discovery in the final days of her life, researching all the Ark parts we had supplied her. Her research even theorizes that using one's own magic to power an Ark for brief amounts of time could result in death.
So she knew she was going to die at the Grand Gate.
She knew exactly what would happen, and did it anyway. That's courage.
We can't let it be in vain. So, then the Ark of Verdance is our failsafe. Your design will get it running. Where can I find the shaped coral?
She suspected it was kept in the Archon's hearth, stored near natural coral deposits for its regenerative properties.
The Archon's hearth once more. I wish Isla was here to guide me.
I could assist in her absence.
What the? Brynn, what? Aurea, the scry has been compromised by the surgeborn. Stay off it.
Compromised is such a strong word. I just want to talk. It is my region, after all.
Like I would tell you.
Whatever plan you concocted, it would be better if we worked together.
Murdered my friend.
Technically, I didn't touch her. It isn't my fault she lacked the stamina to follow through on what she started.
There's a lot of coral here. I must be getting close to where the Enclave stored shaped bars. Will the surgeborn know our plan when I pick it up? I guess that's a risk I need to take.
You and I have such similar tastes in treasure. Whatever you're planning to do with that is nothing compared with what we can accomplish if we put our minds together.
I can manage well enough on my own.
There's so much more.
The surgeborn in the Howling Jail somehow has access to the scry.
We know. I can feel it in there with me. It's not pleasant. We need to do something fast.
The good news is, as far as we can tell, it only has access when you're in the underworks. At most, it seems to cause interference when you're above ground. We don't think it can listen in.
Until we can block its presence, best to keep use of the scry to a minimum.
Let's hear it. How bad is all this?
The scry is a complex piece of Weaver enchantment. That this surgeborn has broken in is not good.
We still don't know exactly what it wants, but if it continues to infiltrate our constructs, this could mean an all-out war.
War?
Imagine they gain control of the Enclave's arcs. Sure, they're dangerous now, but with a sentient strategist behind them. They could storm the Maida in a couple of hundred strides.
You think the surgeborn's interests expand beyond the Enclave?
With an enemy as calculated as this, best to assume the worst.
Weavers need a physical connection to the scry to communicate, either by wearing the earpiece or touching the scroll. The surgeborn doesn't have either, so how is it connecting to our scry?
Well, let's start with what we know. The imprisoned Talon was able to convince Stanild to open the gate. But the Herald was there and waiting. It was not surprised at all, despite the scout's distractions. Ergo, the Herald and Talon were communicating somehow, yet the Talon had been imprisoned for years. Would it not be reasonable to suggest the surgeborn can communicate with one another using something like our scry? Or worse, perhaps they can share thoughts needing no magic at all.
A single shared consciousness.
The implications are frankly staggering, but it is the only explanation I can think of for what we've observed. And if I'm correct, it's not such a leap to imagine creatures like this, or perhaps a creature, would be capable of infiltrating our scry.
Aurea, I could feel the surgeborn too. I know exactly what you mean.
Doesn't feel great.
The kind of nausea that only comes from the wind being knocked out of you.
It takes a lot out of me to stay connected to you when it's present, let alone speak.
That must be why there's interference.
What you're both describing, it makes me wonder if the Eye was under a deeper influence from the surgeborn than we realized.
How so?
We assumed he was merely manipulated into a foolhardy plan, but what if the surgeborn had some sort of effect on his mind?
I could believe it. But if that's the case, then we need to limit Brynn's exposure to it through the scry. Fast.
And yours.
I don't think it's me the surgeborn wants to influence. From the sounds of it, it wants you.
All right. How are we going to fix this?
The reason Aurea can sense the surgeborn presence on the scry is likely because it's wielding magic to communicate. The same way Aurea's mantle pulls magic from the air to contact you. However, unlike Aurea, the surgeborn can't pull magic from the air around it. Otherwise, it would be talking to you all the time.
But it can only reach me when I'm underground.
Where the tangles are most dense. We need to cut off its access to raw magic.
That's where the spindle comes in. Thanks to her, we finally have the missing piece to get our escort here running.
It was a failsafe in the case that the source needed to be repaired. The Arc of Verdance will create a safe bubble against the tangles, which would be the natural consequence of any failure of the source.
Just like it did with the Veil.
Exactly. But without the crushing weight that caused it to fail.
So, the plan. We get the Ark to the source, It stabilizes the Enclave.
Or at the very least, starts the process.
If the Herald waiting down there doesn't destroy it first, I'll need to take it down, if this plan is going to work.
That sounds dangerous.
It might be a risk worth taking.
We have to. The Enclave is overflowing with raw magic, and this source is clearly the root of the problem. Too many tangles have led to the floods. They allow the surgeborn to communicate and infect our enchantments. Without the source under control, we will never reclaim the Enclave.
Then that's our plan. We build a power core, then we speak to the Axle.
I'll join you at Cassidon's Hold.
And with this power core, we can fix our Arc of Verdance. I think this is what they call a full circle moment.
Huh. Lately, I feel like I've been running in circles.
Hey, I know things look bleak, but this is a win. Don't let the Talon rob you of it. You're finishing her work, after all.
You're right.
I always am. Now, I think you've got a meeting with the Axle.
Khan Arteme, my Weaver Band has repaired the Ark we followed through the Veil and discovered its true purpose.
To nullify the tangles at the source so it can be repaired.
Its anti-magic properties are why we were able to follow it through the Veil in the first place.
I see.
If we could get it to the source, we believe it could stabilize the Enclave.
Except the Grand Gate was broken when the Ark pushed the Herald back through it.
Surely there must be another way to reach the source.
Now that it's repaired, couldn't this Ark be used to leave the Enclave the way you came?
In theory, sure.
What are you saying, Khan Arteme?
It's time for someone to protect my people. I need to use that Ark to get us all out of here.
You would leave with the surgeborn running loose? Or worse, allow them to spread and wreak havoc across the Maida in your wake?
No one has succeeded in stopping them yet. We've been trapped inside the Enclave for decades. It's time to set ourselves free before the surgeborn overtake Cassidon's Hold and kill us all.
In moments like these, we can't give in to our worst fears. That's what Kenrick did, and look where it got him.
We're only still here because the Spindle was brave. Honor that.
The Surgeborn has infiltrated our scry. It's learning how to use our enchantments against us. If we don't put a stop to this madness, how long until they overtake the Arcs? Or bring down the Veil and spread across the Maida?
That is concerning. Still, Let's be clear. Even if you could reach the source, there's a massive surgeborn that almost killed you lurking down there.
I'll be ready for the Herald this time.
And what are you going to do about all the tangles? Punch them before they disintegrate you?
We will leverage the aeroliths to control miasma at the source. We think this will clear a path so that I can escort the Ark.
Interesting. You've put more thought into this than I'd expected. But, as you've said, you have no way to reach the source.
Fine. Our plan has a few kinks to iron out.
More than a few.
How about this? If you can just give us time to present you with the final plan, it'll be your call whether or not we move forward on it.
I suppose that's fair. I can't pack up this stronghold in a day.
One more thing. It's clear by now the Enclave hides its secrets well. If there's any information on the source, I need access to it.
There are private records that can only be accessed with the Eye's signet. I suppose he's not using it at the moment, but...
Brynn did just save your people from certain death not too long ago.
Fine, you can borrow it. You should find information at the Spire in Upper Denevron, the Bastion, and the Institute.
We'll arrange a meeting with you when we're ready.
Good luck.
You.
Hello to you too. Why don't you try greeting me with a smile?
How do you have access to our scry?
Magic.
Seriously?
Your scry is connected to Gloom Gates and by extension the tapestry, which spans all through the underworks. No system is impenetrable. I found a way in.
I want you out of my ear. Now. I'm sick of your voice.
And yet you came back to see me. Puzzling.
You're impossible.
Back again. You do like me, don't you?
Hardly.
And you've brought the Eye's signet with you. Keep it close, or we might just pluck it from you.
What would you want with the Eye signet?
To reveal the Enclave's secrets for myself, of course.
The Eye told you that?
He did. Funny how a man who has alienated everyone he loves through ego alone can be so talkative with a stranger. Though he certainly doesn't think he drove his ex-wife away.
He's never spoken of Isla's mother.
Heartbreak does funny things to your kind. Whatever that woman did, she left a bitter man in her wake.
Council records are meant to be public. Wonder what else the Eye was hiding from his people. Records on the construction and maintenance of grand gates across the Enclave.
My. That's the Eye's signet. Did you know it can reveal the Enclave's secrets? Not that I needed it to pry into the Eye's darker truths. Let me guess. You're trying to find another way to reach the source. I'm all for it. We'll be able to speak more easily then.
I'm sick of your voice already.
Such blindness is uncool. Don't you raise reason to be a nice respect? Eyes felt his own nose. Was it for 1 year?
Hold on. Hold on.
Field notes from an expedition to the source shortly after the surge. Enchanters discovered severe damage to the coral. All who participated in the expedition were sworn to secrecy by the Eye in power at the time. Last time we went looking for answers in the Bastion. Half the documents were torn to shreds. What else were they hiding behind the Eye's signet? Looks like research that's been compiled on the ecological and geographic impact of the surge across the Enclave's landscape. There's an entire section on the widening of the Great Chasm.
hope you're not afraid of diving into bottomless pits.
Hardly. Maybe a little. Why?
Despite the Grand Gates no longer functioning, there is a more direct way to reach the source. By dropping straight down into a rift in Lower Denevron.
You know, last time I wanted to charge into a restricted area, you weren't so sure it was a great idea.
People change. Maybe I've learned a thing or two about calculated risk-taking from you. And the prospect of securing the source makes this a risk worth taking.
With this knowledge and Sev's plan to control the miasma with the aeroliths, I'll get Aurea to call a meeting with the Axel.
Perfect.
Anyone else missing Sev? Huh. He was always quiet, but his presence was felt nonetheless.
I definitely miss his help, but I'm happy he found his place in the band.
All right, everyone. Let's give Khan Arteme the rundown.
Using the aeroliths, I can trigger a miasma everywhere they affect above ground.
It is advised that your people remain indoors during this process.
The miasma will flow from the source, which will lessen the raw magic enough to keep Brynn safe while she escorts the Ark.
And how is she going to get there without the Grand Gate?
She'll drop in through the rift in Lower Denevron.
Skies, of course she will.
Don't worry. I've got plenty of experience scaling down cliffs.
Once she's in the underworks, she'll stay within the Ark's protective field and follow it to the source where it will fulfill its purpose, to pacify the Tangles.
And what about the Herald?
That's where you're going to need to trust me.
You really think you can do this?
Growing up in a freehold in Carnhaven, joining a Weaver band seemed impossible. Then opportunity struck, I jumped on it. In my first Weaver band, becoming a point seemed impossible. Then I met Aurea. And not too long ago, being the first to enter the Enclave in half a century seemed impossible. Yet here we are. What I'm about to do feels impossible. But that's how I like it.
You've asked me to guide us. Now, it's time for you to trust me when I say, this is our path.
Kenrick lied to us for decades. It's hard to believe anyone who says they're going to take care of the surgeborn now. But with how open you've been, and everything you've done for us already, you've earned my trust. We will stay and fight for our hearth.
Thank you.
Brynn, I'll coordinate with Sev. When you're ready, come see me. This is going to be a challenging expedition. Are you ready?
Have Arik escort Khan Arteme here. I'm ready to move out.
Good. Take some time to rest. And I'm sure everyone will want a chance to speak with you before you head into the rift.
You all worry too much. I'll be fine.
I know that. Just make sure the others do, too.
All right.